Hello, in this Java programming video, we are going to take a look at overriding in the context of classes. So, for example, we've got this superclass right here, this parent class, and it has a method called reduceHealth. And the enemy class that extends it or inherits the character class's property can use the method from within, or the objects of it can use it. Same with super enemy, but maybe super enemy. So if we go to enemy, maybe super enemy, whatever damage you apply to it can, it can't, or maybe because let's think about it. Okay, so let's say by default you do it as damage. You just take away damage. Super enemy has quite a lot of health initially, so instead of just doing regular damage, you want to do it so twice as much. It has 10 times the health, but it'll be twice the amount of damage. And what you can do is override the method. So you just put the exact same method. So if I actually just copy it, just to keep it simple, and I'll put it here. And instead of this, I'll put ×2 now. What this means is the method's been overridden. So if you try and access the reduceHealth method of the super enemy, though it inherits from the character class, it will use the overridden method. If you can't find an overridden method, it will go to the parent class. If you can, it will use this one. And let's demonstrate it. So we have, so what I'm going to do is comment this out because there's quite a bit of code. And I'm going to create an enemy, call it E1 equals new enemy. And I'm going to do system.out.println, and I'm going to print e1.health. Then I am going to do e1.reduceHealth, and I'm going to reduce it by 1. And then I'm going to print out the health again straight away afterwards. Then I'm going to do something very similar, but for the super enemy. So for the super enemy, I'll call this as SE, the super enemy, and I need to change this to SE, need to change this to SE, change this to SE. So if we run it, see what we get. So we get 100, 99, obviously it's being constructed as well, we can ignore that, being 100, 99, 1000, and 998. So when we created the enemy class, then we printed out the health, which was 100 initially. We did reduceHealth, and we passed in a value of 1. Printed it out, so we had reduced it by 1. Then we created a super enemy object. We printed out the health, and by default it's 1000 because that's what we set in the constructor. When we called the reduceHealth method and passed in 1, even though we only passed in the value 1, super enemy says whatever the value is, double it, because that's what ×2 does, double it, and take it away from the health, and that's what we got. We got 998 instead of 999. So that's, that's really it for overriding, and this is really, really useful, because maybe you have parent class, you have, let's say, 5 or 6 children classes, and maybe 4 of them use the exact same method, the exact same way, but the 5th one, uses it slightly different, and that way you can override it. So it gives you the best of both worlds. Let me just show you one other thing, and this is useful in a variety of places with classes, and that's the super keyword. So if I go to the super enemy Java, so if, for example, I were to comment that out and run it, I can see we still get 1000. If instead I were to do super.reduceHealth, and I'll just pass in the damage. Let's see what we get. We get 999. So what has this super keyword does? So super is sort of like the this keyword. The this keyword refers to any properties of this class, including any inherited properties, whereas super refers to the parent's properties. So this is invoking the original reduceHealth method. So if you want to do that, maybe you actually want to invoke both of them. If you really want to do that, you can. So it's taken away the default amount of 1 and double the amount as well. So that's the super keyword, and it's really useful. So that's the way that you can invoke the parent properties directly instead of having any overridden ones. So that's it for overriding. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I look forward to seeing you in the next awesome Java video.